Hello and welcome to the Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I am your host, Chance Pitts, and I would like to thank you for tuning in to this episode. Guys and gals, we're back with another episode. Yes, it is one day late, but I'll give you the explanation to that right now. We spent the weekend with Mr. Billy Pitts as he knocked out his first 100-mile ultramarathon, the Rocky Raccoon 100. It was a very insane, very emotional finish, but he got the dang thing done, battling through some crazy circumstances that we will explain later in a post-race interview. But today, guys, I've got for y'all the pre-race conversation that we were able to have with some of the members of the crew. Now, while I'm talking about the crew, a huge shout out and a huge thank you to everyone who came out and helped make this thing possible. There is a tremendous group of people that constantly works together and surrounds ourselves with each other, just bringing out the best at all points, and it was not an exception this weekend. We had a great crew out there, some fantastic people, from the crew to the pacers, and even the people putting on the race as well. Had some help from outside sources that were unexpected, that were just too big to be a coincidence. It was an amazing thing, seeing everything come together and all the months of training that he put in and the hard work just come to fruition at this race. He got his Rocky Raccoon buckle, and he can celebrate now. I'm sure he's very sore as this drops, but we wanted to go back and share the pre-race conversation with you so you could get an idea of kind of what we were thinking and just see how things developed as we move through the beginning process of this race. Now, there's a lot of things that are said in this podcast that I'm airing today that necessarily might not have necessarily panned out, I guess is a good way of saying it. But there's a lot of things that were accomplished, and we are very proud of that. And I'm thankful for those guys sitting down with me and us turning on the record button. So, guys, if you get something out of this episode, share the show, even if it's just a little bit of entertainment value or some laughs. We greatly appreciate it. That's the best way to help this movement grow and to help see more people try to accomplish some amazing things like taking on a 100-mile ultramarathon. But, guys, without any further ado, join Mark, Lane, Mr. Billy Pitts, and myself for this pre-race podcast. Here you go. Hello and welcome to the Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I'm your host, joined today by a variety of people. Starting over here, we got Mr. Lane Diven. He's a pacer and crew member.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Mr. Mark Wilmuth. He's a crew member here and the kind of the crew captain in a lot of ways of this deal.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
yeah,
okay.
He's got the RV out here in Huntsville, Texas, getting ready for this guy. Y'all probably have heard me talk about him. My dad, Mr. Billy Pitts, getting ready to take on the Rocky Raccoon 100 tomorrow.
Yes.
Excited?
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Starting to sink in a little bit.
The reality is sinking in.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to watch these mic levels. This is the first time we've done this all together, so I got to make sure we get all these microphone levels correct as we go through here, but bear with us a little bit. So besides that, nervous, but how are you feeling?
Feel great. Feel really good. Confident. I've done a lot of preparation, so just the unknowns is all that's out there, really. Hadn't been this far before.
There's a lot of unknowns. Condition wise for the course, you've had a ton of rain fall in this area, some cold weather, crappy conditions. There's probably not going to be a course record out there changed this time.
They said expect mud, expect to get your feet wet.
Well, that's always inspiring. Make this a little bit more
is.
eventful.
Should be a good time overall, though.
Yeah. It'll slow down the faster people so I can keep up maybe.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it is. Get some weight on their shoes with that mud. Oh, man. No, just kind of wanted to get in here and kind of get a game plan together. Do you know what you're going to do? Let's start just at the top, pace-wise. For a 100-mile race, pace-wise, do you have any clue what you're going to do?
I'm going to shoot for me, probably 13-minute areas where I'm going to shoot for to try to stay in that range because the goal is to try to make it in 24 hours. We'll see how this unfolds, though.
Okay. That's easy enough. 24 hours would be 14.4 minute mile pace or something like that. So just under 14 and a half minute miles.
Pretty close.
And that's including all of your stops. That's gun time. So from the minute they start it to the minute you cross the finish line.
Yes.
And that's going to be a pretty good task. And, of course, if you do it in 24 hours, I'm going to have to go sign up for a 100-mile race because I took 26 and a half miles or hours to do mine.
I knew it.
So.
I'm thinking just as long as I can do it in 26 and 20 minutes or so, I'll be good.
That'll be good, yeah. For no reason, right? Oh.
There's no competition or anything like that, right?
So, no, not at all. Never. Not competitive. But, so you get your pace kind of worked out. Idea of where you want to be. What about the other sides of this deal? Do you plan on carrying anything specific with you for nutrition, for hydration, anything like that?
I have my hydration vest I'm going to carry. I'm going to carry two bottles with me also with some electrolytes, some G1M from Bear Performance Nutrition. That's what I'm going to go with to start out with. And then I'm hit the aid stations like crazy. I want to stay ahead of it, make sure I don't get behind on all the calorie intake. Those the ones you get behind, it's going to be very difficult to catch up, if at all. So I want to start out ahead, just hitting it right off the bat, hitting the aid stations hard, and taking the time to make sure I'm hydrating. My very first ultra, I did not do that, and I paid for it very dearly.
When was your last ultra? For those that don't know.
The last ultra was April 9th of last year.
So that was the Brazos Bend, right?
Brazos
Yeah.
Bend 50.
Cool.
I ran 50 miles.
50 miles. So, doubling the distance?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I don't think any of us really start out small with the things we like to do. We usually end up face first, diving straight in kind of thing.
Yeah,
Usually how this
absolutely.
goes.
Pretty
Absolutely.
much.
Well, you've got your nutrition, you got your time figured out. Always a big question. What kind of shoes do you plan on wearing for this dang thing?
I have a brand new pair of Hoka Speed Goat 5s I'm going to start out with. And I've got a backup pair that are well worn in Speed Goat 5s. And then I've also got some Nike Pegasus that are going to be my third line of shoes in case I need them. So that's my plan, with a bunch of toe socks in the bag ready to go, with squirrel's nut butter ready to go on my toes to keep the toes all lubed up, to keep the blisters away. So that's the plan.
There you go.
Driving in there, I told him he needed hip waders.
Yeah, probably so. It's already southeast Texas, so it's wet anyway all the dang time.
They even
but
said at the racers meeting that there was streams crossing the course, that you were going to get wet. So of course it's sandy down here, so we're hoping it'll dry up and not be too muddy.
What's the weather look like for? Do y'all know off the top of your head?
It was the low tonight was like 37. I think it's supposed to be in the mid 50s tomorrow. Isn't that what we're
I think
looking
it's supposed
at?
to get into 60s now, they're saying.
Okay, so it's going to actually be decently warm out there.
The day will
It's
be
gonna
nice. Yeah,
It's going to be nice.
Probably be one of those things where you start out in a jacket or a hoodie with.
Well, I think you were talking about wearing your leggings and first thing in
We'll
the
start
morning.
out with the
weren't
leggings in the morning, and then I'll have a couple of shirts on in the morning.
What's the temp going to be first thing in the morning, you think?
34 degrees.
34
34.
degrees.
Looking at it right now. Yeah, so starting off at 34 at 6 a.m., working your way up to a high of 60 about 1 o'clock. So, and then slowly cruising on down from there.
That was Lane Divin with the weather.
Yep.
Appreciate you. No, that's good to know going into this deal because you'll probably end up being a little bit more cold than you're used to out there, or than what you would suspect with the wet feet and all that crap you're going to be dealing with too.
True.
But this really, honestly, it ought to turn into a pretty nice weekend overall.
I think so. I mean, I've been running in some cold weather, and for those that don't know, we've had this like a rain and ice and just a winter blast these last few days, all this week, and then all of a sudden it cleared out, and today was pretty nice and sunny, so it's starting to dry out a little bit. So, but we're still going to see mud and some water out there on the course, and then so in the morning it's going to be about 34. So I plan to have leggings on, plan to have probably some kind of t-shirt with a long sleeve, thin hooded over top of that, and that'll probably be what I start out in, see how I feel on the first lap. And it'll start warming up. I don't want to be too hot.
I was going to say, make sure we don't relive the Colorado experience.
Yes. Yes.
Overheating, getting hot, sweating on the mountain. Yeah, that was not fun. Playing catch up on the backside for hydration on that is not something to do this weekend.
No. But, yeah, I want to stay ahead of that as well. And so learned a little bit from Colorado. Maybe we can go back sometime and attempt that one again. Maybe take a bigger crew with us.
There we go. Yeah, bring the whole crew.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well, we talked a little bit about pace, a little bit about nutrition, and game plan and that kind of thing, a little bit about gear and what you're planning on doing, what the conditions are going to be. What about a little bit of a round robin here? And I'm going to save you for last, but Mr. Divin, what is the one thing you're looking forward to in this deal, and what is the one thing that you're kind of worried about that you got on your mind? Put you on the spot.
Man, starting off, just getting out here, getting to be a part of the experience, getting to be involved in a crew and being in these ultra races and seeing y'all go out and just compete. I think that's probably my favorite thing, just being it's about being a part of something a little bit bigger than yourself and getting to be a part of this family and just being involved in all that. It's always been my favorite part. What I'm looking probably least, man. I don't know. It's gonna be some cold nights camping and running, but overall it should be a good time. So I don't really have anything I'm too worried about. I am pacing. I've been on a bodybuilding prep lately. I haven't been running a whole lot, but I will say took a 2.5 month hiatus of running. Knocked out 5 miles at 8.5 pace, so I still got something in me.
You still got something in you. Yeah, dude, you're looking phenomenal. I know you're wearing that thick hoodie there, but, dude's blowing up over here.
That's right.
It's a creatine, folks.
Yeah, that's all it is. Don't worry. Don't
That's right.
Take a pee test later. No, I'm just playing. Mark.
Yes.
Going to you. What is the thing you're looking forward to most in this, and then of course the thing that's got you maybe a little worried or kind of not looking forward to? Anything.
So I'm a big planner, right? And so the logistics part of it was kind of fun for me, and making sure we had the supplies that he needed and the stuff that he needed. And we keep talking about the weather. When my feet get wet, I'm miserable, and I hate that. So shoes, socks, feet prep, that kind of stuff. That's probably got me concerned the most, is just the feet getting wet and having issues there. But I'm looking forward to this. This is the first time I've ever been part of something like this. I miss the camaraderie and getting ready and being part of a physical team event. Mm-hmm. And he's the one that's going to suffer and do all the running, but you got pacers, you got the crew here, you got people cooking. It's really cool. It's fun to be part of.
Absolutely. I'm skipping you. I'm coming to me. We're going to save you for last.
All right.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most is, we joked about it, but 26 and a half hours is what it took me to run one of these. I'm sincerely looking forward to you coming out and beating the 24-hour mark and doing your thing and being very successful in this, because you've put in the time, the effort, mm-hmm. and I'm ready for everything to come together in one spot and see you do really well. Kind of like y'all, the one thing I'm worried about a little bit with the conditions, it's going to be a little bit of a suck fest in some ways that I didn't have to deal with in my 100-mile race, and in some ways you won't have to deal with some of the factors that were big things for me there.
I was going to say, you got to let that out, because your 100-mile race was in 100-degree, 100% humidity.
It was a little brutal.
Dead middle of August.
Sealy, Texas. But still.
Well, see, the one thing the two of you haven't brought up yet is you got an age differential here that you got to factor in, too.
You do. You could really taper this thing.
So you keep saying 26 hours at 26 plus age differential.
I wasn't going to say that, okay? I wasn't going to let that come up, because if you look at him, he's not your average 52-year-old over here.
Hey, at least he doesn't have to have a pacer the entire time.
That's true. Yeah, we were joking about that. Lane called me the other day and said, hey, how old's your dad? Because there's a cutoff. If you're 60 and over, you're allowed to have a pacer the whole time.
I
knew
that.
you weren't there,
man.
I think Lane was a little worried he was going to have to put in some miles running the whole 100 miles.
I don't know how to work those macros.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
He's going to keep an eye on my birthday when I hit 60.
Right.
He's going to be like, oh, hey, I'm
he's
busy.
gonna
I'm busy.
Ghost. You won't be able to find him. Oh, but that's us. That's the crew side of things. What about you? What are you looking forward to most in this dang thing?
Man,
The end.
The end, right? The end. Man, I'm looking forward to getting out there and doing it. I put in a lot of hours. I want to see what I can do. I've ran one ultra race where I went out too hard, blew up, just didn't know what I was doing. I ran the second one where I went super conservative, had gas left in the tank when I was done. So this one I kind of want to see if I can level that out a little bit, kind of hit a little bit harder in there, and except for the X factor being I'm going twice as far as I went before. So that's the unknown. So, but I just want to get out there and do it. Is it going to suck? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. But it's just part of it. I kind of like that kind of stuff for some reason. I don't know how to explain it. So, man, I look forward to embracing the suck and doing the hard thing here. I kind of like it. So
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like you were talking about just a little bit ago whenever you were several of us are doing 75 hard. They're going to be here, but Mark was talking about doing a 75 hard workout out in that cold weather that y'all have been getting.
Yeah.
And being all bundled up on the side of the road, and several people stopping in and just being like, what the heck's going on? Are you all right? You need help? And they think you're crazy.
Oh, yeah. It was
Right.
It was awesome because you need a ride. They thought I broke down or something. I said, no. And they, what are you doing? I'm just out for an exercise.
What?
They just look at you like you're nuts.
what day are you on?
23.
23.
23.
I'm
I'm a week ahead of you guys.
Yeah, we're closing out 18 or 17 or 18, somewhere in
yeah.
there. So,
So-
yeah, you started right before we did.
Okay, I got to brag on you for a little bit.
Okay.
How much have you lost since you started, and how long has it been?
So I started in, we were saying July 1st.
July 1st.
Was the
You started hitting
when
the
I
West
started
Philly,
hitting the gym, and so since July we're down right at 60 pounds.
That's freaking awesome.
Dude, that's incredible.
So, yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing how much better you feel. I wish, and like you had said before, I wish I'd have started a long time ago.
yeah,
You know.
that's awesome.
And it's something that's in your grasp. That's what, we joke about this age differential, and he and I have talked about it. We're 50 and like, oh, well, that's a part of life. It's, you're getting older and this, that, and the other. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And so
Yeah.
a 100-miler, I never dreamed in my life a 50-year-old to run a 100-miler. That's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it can be done. You just got to believe in yourself and do it.
That's what we kind of feed off of that. We've talked about that several times, but to hear you say that, and then even I know, Devin, we've talked about it a number of times too, that the crazy factor, the being an outlier, being willing to go above and beyond and put yourself out there and take the risk of maybe embarrassing yourself, right? There's no guarantee you're going to finish this shit or be able
Failing.
to actually
Right.
follow it through.
Just failing.
But yeah, that failure teaches you a lot, and if you're lucky enough and you work hard enough in it, I mean, you actually achieve some really cool stuff when you put your mind to it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty awesome.
It shows you how, it teaches you how to embrace anything that comes along, how to approach any situation, how to find the good in anything, how to find the positive in anything, no matter what it may be. And, I'm going to try this 100-mile thing, but, at the 50K, I knew it mentally, I wanted to quit so many times during that race, and I didn't let myself do it. I had reciting some David Goggins quotes and things like that in my head, but I just kept plugging away and just kept going. And then as I got closer to 20 miles, okay, I'm 20 miles in now. I've come too far to stop. Okay, I've hit the marathon mark now. I can't stop. Then next thing you know, I finally got it. So, and then the 50 mile, I trained and knew so much more and learned so much more. 50 miles seemed like it was very comfortable, even though I didn't run it real fast, but really controlled, felt really good. So I just want to do something a little harder now, maybe step it up just to see what I can do. But it just it carries over into so many other areas in my life. So I don't know how to explain it, but just into the daily things I do with work or whatever, it just gives me confidence to attack everything. So
absolutely.
Well, how you act in your playtime is how you're going to run your whole life. I mean, that's just a part
Bingo.
of it, you know.
That's true. Very true.
And I mean, that's one thing I'll tell into as well is we always talk about surrounding yourselves with good people. And I think that's kind of a testament, seeing what Mark's done. Everybody knows I've talked to Lane a couple of times on here and seen his stuff. And Michael Ruiz, he's been on the podcast as well. He just finished that marathon. He's going to be here along with all of our significant others and a lot of people that are really hardworking, good, solid people who are actively working to make themselves better and are continuing to surround themselves with the same kind of people and the same quality people. And that's one cool thing I'll say about the crew that we have here is just about everybody pretty much dragged themselves around this muddy course if they had to make sure that they could get you to finish that race, you know.
I'm honored and I'm blown away that all y'all are here, that, you know, we're here in this travel trailer tonight and we're talking about this, and y'all came from all over the South and Houston, San Antonio, Kingsville, all to be here and to pace and to support just me. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I really am. It's phenomenal. I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say. It's just, now the pressure's on. I got to do this thing now.
That's right. It's funny you mentioned in the travel trailer, too, because if you don't remember, we started this podcast off in our own travel trailer.
I do remember
coming
that.
Full circle now.
Right?
Oh, man. But we didn't answer the last question that I had for you, which was, what are you the most worried about going into this? What's on your mind that might be a problem? I wouldn't say worried about or anything like that, but more what's on your mind as a potential thing you're going to have to watch out for?
I think I'm gonna push myself a little bit, and I need to be present about what's going on with my body. I got to be really in tune and not kind of zone out. I got to really stay on top and not let myself cramp and that kind of stuff. So I'm a little concerned about that, being the distance, not having gone that far yet. So I'm really concerned about hydration and electrolytes and staying on top of that. Just the unknown, really. I know I'm going to hit some point throughout this thing where I'm going to hit a wall or something, and I know I'm going to have to crack through that wall and keep going. So it may be more than once. So that's the unknown that's kind of got me a little concerned. As far as the race itself, I feel really good and confident about going out there and running it, and I'm going to do everything I can. I plan to run 100 miles, so we're going to see what happens. But I know there's going to be some challenges throughout there. There's going to be some dark places throughout there. I'm going to have to really dig deep, and it's going to be a mental game with myself at some points in there for sure. And that's going to be probably the hardest thing, is the unknowns, I guess. You know, challenging myself to go this far and never having done that before. It's going to be digging deeper and pushing harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but out of a couple of the books, and I don't read, you know, I can't tell you the last time I read a book until I started this 75 Hard, but I'm into my third different book, and each one of them's got that recurring theme of, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not going forward.
You're not growing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's no growth with complacency. So
Very true.
So you're running into the unknown.
Yeah.
That's going forward.
I mean, because a big part of me wants to be like, you know, I do 100 miler, and if it feels good, what's next? I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What did you sign up for?
225 miles in October in Missouri. Katy Trail 225.
225.
And
oh, man.
I'll run it this year, and we'll be crewing my dad in Missouri next year, I'm sure.
I'm looking at one myself, but yeah.
We'll be
well,
crewing you probably in Nebraska.
You said, what's the next one? When we were at the runners meeting, the race meeting this evening, they were talking about, they were handing out belt buckles and T-shirts for, 500 mile, 1,000 mile, 1,500 mile.
Oh, yeah.
For the ones that have completed, you know, X number of races and run those miles. And so that's why I was picking on him. I'm like, guess you're going for that 500-miler shirt, huh? And he's like, well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get through this 100 one first, and then see. We'll go from there.
We'll get it going. I I think honestly, because let's look back at training. The only hiccups you've had here and there were minor things that everybody who trains for something like this runs across. A little pain in the knee here,
hamstring, little tweak tear. I had little just odd stuff that were bothering me, and so it was some ice baths, it was compression boots, things like that, trying to get those things to alleviate. So your workout plan is never going to be perfect because those things are going to creep up. You push yourself and try to run those tempo days and those hills or whatever, and those things sometimes they can get you a little bit.
Then in this week before the race, not only do we have the ice storm, which kind of put a cramp on some of the running, but you also had your neck was giving you issues.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So that took a little bit of a hit.
Couldn't look to the left there.
So just focus on the future. That's one
That's
step
right.
in
Just
front of
look
the
ahead.
other.
I think we got that straightened out, though. So, yeah, it's always something, but it's just how you approach anything, like that. Just attack it.
But that's completely normal. Even me and old Divin here have had many a conversation about, hey, man, my knee's kind of acting a little goofy right now.
Absolutely.
Or, man, my IT band's bothering me.
IT band, lower back.
Oh, yeah.
28 going on 50.
Wait till you hit 50.
Yeah, you're going to have that pacer the whole race before too long, Divin.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. So
a lot of it's just learning your body.
No, for sure.
It is.
I'm kind of curious. Is there anything that you're taking into this race that you learned from your last ultra? Like, is there any particular lesson that you learned in those moments that's going to help you carry through on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one, cramped like crazy, didn't hydrate enough, didn't eat enough. I didn't realize anything about how much calories you were burning, how much you needed to put back in your body. I had no idea. So I felt extremely good in the beginning, and so I'm really aware that not to get too excited because there's going to be a bunch of people out there running really fast. So stay in control, run within myself, and realize where I need to be at. So that's something there, I definitely needed to keep track of that. And
well, you were telling, when we were talking about it, you were saying one of the things you learned is if you wait till you're hungry to eat, then you're done. Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late.
So you got to start early.
Well, it's kind of like me and you during our Spartan race, man. That's like 3 miles. No, shoot, it's further than that. It's probably like 4 or 5 miles of like Chance. I haven't had any goose or water or anything. And you're like, should probably start on that here pretty quick.
I was like, all right, I already choked one down. We better get you moving.
Dude, that was a Spartan Ultra, right? Y'all did
29 miles, 60 obstacles.
60, yeah, 60.
That was
62, something like that.
That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Shoot, just like that, you learn so much from all these experiences whenever you subject yourself to stuff that you're not used to typically doing.
Yeah.
Whenever you're setting yourself up for a goal that's a little scarier or makes you hesitant to achieve, you just learn so much through those.
Does that make you uncomfortable?
Absolutely.
There's that theme again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how you grow, man. It's how you grow. It's awesome. Awesome you guys did that. That was pretty cool.
It was a good time.
Well, and I think kind of the cool thing, too, that, like, this doesn't just have to relate to all of our physical activities. Like, you're able to take this into any aspect in your life, whether that's relationships with your friends or your significant other. Especially on the professional side, too, you just got to keep pushing and grinding every day. So
I would say that's a big one for me on the professional side because I'm the kind of person that, we talked about this earlier, I want things to be right when I do them, right? We talked about the being scrat, having to have everything packed in there perfect and then screwing everything else up along the way or not paying attention to other things that you should be. And the perfectionist side of me on that, like you were talking about, Lane, is that with work, I will drive myself nuts when something doesn't go how I wanted it to or right, trying to fix it or trying to find a solution to go around it. And that's a lot like one of these races or even 75 hard. You get punched in the face about 5 times in there and you're trying to figure out how to get around it and go through and get around your problems, and it applies directly to it. I don't know how many times I've been like, man, this, in the grand scheme of things, this is such a small little thing, that I'm trying to deal with or overcome. And
it's just taking a step back and regrouping, just changing your perspective a little bit and just figuring out what you need to do. So
yeah. On your training plan, circling back a little bit, what's the furthest distance you ran in preparation for this?
27 miles in one day. It was supposed to be 33, but I tweaked a hammy, and so I backed down that day. Ran through some pain for a while anyway, made myself do it. But 27, then followed by a 12-mile recovery run on the next day. So
27. My longest one was 26.2 marathon, so I was right there, same as you. That's pretty. It to me, it's one of those things that time on your legs is probably the biggest thing at that point.
It really is.
And then following up with that longer run, that 12-miler, probably really helpful.
Yeah.
So can y'all kind of dive into the training aspect of that for those that don't know? Where you like gradually increase your mileage for the week, so it's not just like, oh, it's just a 25-mile run. Here I'm gonna go try and triple that or quadruple that. You know what I mean? Like, can y'all kind of dive into that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that and the one, how long it took you to train for it? Like you said, it was
a 26-week
26-week plan.
Six months basically, every year. And it starts out. It's usually like you build for 3 weeks, and then you come back down to like your third week or your second week. You build and you back up, and then you build, then back up to give yourself a little bit of breather and a little bit of rest on your legs a little bit. But you continuously, that graph is going up, so you're building your miles. So you may start out your first few runs of probably like 4 miles, and then maybe 8 will be your long run, and then you just keep building that up every week until eventually you're running, the 27 miles. It was my max run.
Wait, kind of the science I tried to put behind it, just based off of, because you listen to people that do this, right? Podcasts, YouTube, whatever, even articles online and stuff. You just look up whatever you can from whoever's doing it and doing it well, and then you kind of figure out what works for you, because everybody's different. And the way I've done it, kind of like you said, I build a base out for a month or a month and a half or 2, somewhere in there. And that's like 3 miles here, 4 miles here, 5 miles there. And you really build a solid. I like to get to where I can run 5 miles a day, no problem.
Consistently.
Right, just go out and do it. And then I'll start mixing in some of those 7s, 9s, 10s, whatever, and start adding length. And like you said, I'll up I do off a weekly mileage. Not everybody does that. It doesn't work for everybody, but I'll say, okay, I'm running 5 miles a day. That's 35 miles a week. I'm going to bump it up to 45 next week, and I'll mix in 2 long runs and then a bunch of average runs in there, running 7 days a week. And now I'll segue up to 45 to 50, 55 to 60, 65 to 70, probably regress that back down to 60, and then back up to 65, 70, and build all the way out until I usually like to try to end up with a week that's 1.5 times the distance I'm trying to run. Now, I haven't done that for 100 miles yet. I haven't put in a 150-mile week. That would be a very long, probably like 8-month training plan. I'm going to be looking at doing some of that for this long race. I've got about 10 months, or really coming up on probably about 9 months now. So that's kind of the science I put behind it.
And it does take a lot of time. Some people are probably like, I ain't got time for that. But my plan, I looked for one that was like, put a lot of the run on the weekend. That was a work schedule, and plus at my age, it gave me more downtime to recover. So I didn't want to run every day. I didn't think that I could survive as well running every day, especially when I hit the higher mileage. So I would run Tuesdays, Wednesdays, do some leg workouts and do some other workouts, and then I hit a long run on Saturday, followed by a long but shorter run on Sunday. So that was the bulk of my workout, which worked great for my work schedule as well. But it gave me time and ample time to recover and let my legs recover. And that kind of worked best for me. So there's a lot of other plans out there. You don't have to. There's tons of them out there you can pick from to kind of fit your build, fit your age, with your situation. So,
and anybody, anywhere, can do this. Like honestly, it might be the biggest mental hurdle that anybody deals with. Trust me, I didn't think I was going to be running races like this whenever I was running 3 miles across country in high school, and it killed me. So, I mean, it's one of those things that I know everybody always says that anybody can do it, but quite literally all it takes is a commitment and time investment and some effort, and you can do these things. It's not a superhuman crazy thing. It might seem like it, but
it's all a mental game.
It is, very much so.
That's all it is, man.
And it's what you decide to do or what you decide not to do, and that's okay. You don't have to go out and do all this crazy stuff.
No, you don't have to do any of that. I mean, whatever fits you, you know, whatever you like, you're interested in. This guy likes to ride bikes a lot. You know, I just like lifting weights at first. I lifted weights like crazy and got bigger and everything, and then this guy convinced me to start running a little bit. So, you know, whatever. You kind of got to find what works for you, you know.
Yeah, I've suckered a lot of people into starting running Lane.
A little bit. A little bit.
And Michael, who's on his way.
Michael, who's on the way. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, it's been a fun road. I'm really fired up to see what happens tomorrow. All the ups and downs, all the good things, all the mistakes, all the highs of highs and lowest of lows.
They will be there.
They will be there.
They'll be there, and we will too. So
that's right.
We're gonna get you through it.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we got everything geared up. We got base camp here, thanks to Mark. Mm-hmm. I think we got all kinds of stuff to cook for runner and crew. We got ways to keep ourselves entertained. We brought dang near a whole gym.
Got flat bench, some dumbbells outside.
Yeah, we got dumbbells up to 90 pounds. So if you're in the area and want to get a workout,
come on by.
Swing by.
Swing by. Oh, we'll have some other people join in to potentially pace as well. Mr. Chris Barnes, who was on the podcast, said that he'd come out if need be.
That's awesome,
so
man.
You
bring some Fit Aid too.
Yeah, bring some Fit Aid, please, Chris. I know you're sponsored. I asked him about a T-shirt. He said he didn't have a Fit Aid T-shirt. That surprised me pretty good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know.
What kind of sponsor is that?
But you'll meet him tomorrow. He's something else. But no, that's what I got. I know we need to let you get to bed. Do y'all guys have any closing comments or anything y'all want to throw out there?
No, man. I mean, I'm just ready to get after it.
Yeah, just ready to get after it. I'm just still stoked that everybody's here. Blown away. I'm excited, ready to go get it. So, and nervous. I don't know if I'll sleep very much tonight, but we'll see.
I've been telling him it's only 5 laps.
Yeah,
that's right.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, just check it off.
Just 5 laps.
Only 5 laps.
The last thing I will say, in the form of any kind of tips or anything, is I was told by an awesome ultra running coach one time on the first ultra marathon I ever ran, don't do math. And that's what I'll leave you with, because I started to in my 100-miler and I realized some things and I saw some big mountains in front of me and I did not like it.
You didn't want to eat that elephant.
That's right. One step at a time, one bite at a time. Just go get it. But we know you're going to do great. We're super stoked. We're proud you're here doing this, and I don't think there's anywhere anybody else would rather be this weekend.
Nope, not at all.
Well, I'm honored to have y'all here. I'm ready to go get it, and I'm excited to be here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, guys, thank y'all for tuning into this episode. If you want to keep up with what we have going on, there will be live updates going on Facebook and Instagram. That's at Next in Line Development on both of those platforms. We'll have some stuff out on TikTok as well. We're active with the same handle there. Of course, this is a pre-race. We'll probably have a post-race podcast, regardless of whatever happens between now and then. Just talking everything through. Super stoked about it. Along with that, guys, if y'all get anything out of this, if you enjoyed what we have going on here, share the show. We greatly appreciate it. Help us reach as many people as possible, and always be prepared for whatever is next in line.